The most psychopathic serial killer of all time, who tortured and killed 140 children, Gilles de Rais. If he had lived as a commoner, history might remember him as an elite soldier who served his country well in the 100 Years' War, a wealthy nobleman, and the right-hand man of Jeanne d'Arc. However, the Breton nobleman chose to write his name in history with blood, displaying a rare kind of murder. Who are we talking about? Of course, it's from Gilles de Rais, the real Bluebeard, the most psychopathic serial killer of all time who tortured and killed 140 children. Gilles de Rais had a very difficult childhood. His father, Guy de Laval, died before his eyes in a hunting accident. His mother, Marie de Craon, passed away for an unknown reason. Orphaned at a young age, Gilles was raised by his maternal grandfather, Jean de Craon. His grandfather was a man obsessed with power and money, and Gilles de Rais was nothing but a helpless pawn used for his grandfather's purposes. Gilles de Rais, who was interested in military service in his youth, had a reputation as a talented and fearless warrior on the battlefields because he had an impulsive and dashing character. When Jeanne d'Arc, seen as the savior of France, appeared on the scene in 1429, Gilles de Rais' life changed forever. Jeanne d'Arc would now be his greatest passion and the only indispensable part of his life. Gilles spent his adolescence mostly among men, and as a result, had his first sexual experience with his male cousin. One of the reasons why Jeanne d'Arc impressed him so much was that the young woman's appearance was no different from that of a boy. Gilles, who married Catherine de Thouars at an early age, could not be said to be very happy with this marriage. Partly because of his grandfather's wish, and partly because of his desire to escape, he joined the army to take part in the 100 Years' War. Fighting side by side with Jeanne d'Arc and proving his abilities to everyone, de Rais was given the title of King Henry VII at the age of 25. He was given the rank of Field Marshal by Charles. However, while everything was going well at first, things suddenly started to change. Jeanne d'Arc's fall, like her rise, was rapid, and she was executed by being burned alive. After Jeanne's death, Gilles de Rais became a completely different person. With the first sacrifice given to the devil, the key to the door to hell was now in Gilles' hands. Gilles, who devoted himself to pleasure and entertainment due to the years he spent in the war and losing Jeanne, spent almost all of his fortune. During this period, he crossed paths with Antonio Francesco Prelati, who promised him that he would return to his former glory days. After meeting Prelati, he became interested in magic and Satanism and tried to turn metal into gold. Of course, after trying to be so intimate with the devil, it was inevitable that he would commit his first murder. The first murder followed, and Gilles later committed dozens of massacres. His servants were kidnapping children, mostly boys, between the ages of 6 and 18, and Gilles was torturing them. Taking pleasure in the suffering of his victims, Gilles felt great sexual pleasure as they suffered. That's why he either raped his victims or frequently masturbated in front of them during torture. But even this was not enough to satisfy his sadistic soul. Rumor has it that Gilles most enjoyed seeing the internal organs of his victims. Gilles was also a necrophile. After killing his victims, he continued to have intercourse with them, loving and caressing their heads, which he separated from their bodies. Apart from raping lifeless bodies, dismembering them was another pleasure for Gilles. His hunger for sex and violence was so great that he sometimes passed out with pleasure while carrying out his bloody acts. When his servants came to dispose of the dismembered corpses, they also took Gilles, who was almost unconscious, to his bed to rest. Gilles, who laughed by looking into the eyes of his victims as they died, carried out his massacres in the locked sections of the castle. These events were not revealed until 1440. Gilles' wife sensed his eccentricities but could not find a tangible clue. Finally, she and her sister decided to investigate what was happening in the locked rooms of the castle. The young woman, who found a child's body in one of the rooms, began to lose her mind day by day due to the shock she experienced. Confronting the church was the beginning of the end for Gilles. He was tried for many different crimes, along with human bones and other evidence found in his castle. However, Gilles denied the accusations. However, after a while, he admitted that he was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of children. Gilles de Rais and his 2 assistants were executed for their crimes on 27 October 1440. The criminals were first hanged, and then their bodies were burned. However, since Gilles was still a nobleman, his body was removed from the flames before it was completely burned, and he was allowed to be buried. So could all this be a trick by the church on Gilles? While some think that Gilles de Rais is really guilty, others believe that the events are a slander of the church. According to some rumors, Gilles was tortured before confessing and was forced to admit that he had committed murder. However, there is one truth. The famous Bluebeard Gilles de Rais will not easily disappear from the dusty pages of history. I am trying to convey to you the mysterious stories and events hidden in the dusty pages of history, the lives of different cultures and lines from history with such videos. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel to support me and to prepare more such videos. Like the video and click on the notification bell to be instantly informed about the published videos. Don't forget to express your thoughts and comments about the video in the comments section.